Subscribe now. Bermuda Live on YouTube. Subscribe now. Bermuda Live on YouTube. Subscribe now.
The retail sales
Bermuda
numbers are
Live
down.
on YouTube.
Our GDP is down to 1.9%. We are in a recession. You know, this is what we should be talking about. We are in a recession. We're going nowhere. There's no solution. You know, a war's coming up. Nobody's talking about that. That's what we should need to be talking about. A recession. We are in a recession. How are we going to get out? Now, the number one way to get out is where we started way back in the 50s. And remember what we done in the 50s? We had college weeks. Now, once college weeks, the children come on college break, on spring break. Then when they get married, they bring back the children. Then they bring back the grandchildren. So what are we doing for spring break? Everywhere else in the world is having spring break. We don't have no spring break. We ain't making no money around here. We ain't doing nothing around here. Well, we're talking about CARICOM, Planet of the Apes, bringing in more blacks. That's what we're talking about. And the $2 million, people make more than $2 million what we're spending on CARICOM on bringing back spring break. And why did they stop spring break?
Right.
Because the tourism minister is doing a poor job on tourism. Poor job. We're going into a recession, a war, and we look like we might go into a minus 5.3 GDP recession. This is what we do. What is the plan for the recession? War. The oil prices are going up. What is the plan? For me, I would give status to everybody who works in IB. Lock the money in the country so they don't leave and deplete our pension fund. You know? For me, for dealing with this, we will definitely have to open our borders more to people who have money. You know, we need a recession, pension withdrawals. Let everybody take the money out of the pensions before the stock market goes down and you're not got no money around August and all shores. You see they're struggling. If your payout was what, $400 deal when you were separate, so now you got two companies, you must be able to pay me $800. You know, these companies need to be checked and regulated, and the workers need to be fired. You know, if I was the minister, I would just shut it all down, give everybody back their money, so they will be ready for the recession. Look at the numbers, the charts, and the table. We are in a roller coaster recession, up and down, 1.9. The most important thing Donald Trump taught me is what is your GDP? At the end of the year, how much did your country grow? At the end of the year, how much money did you make? And that's right now, what, 1.9% for the annual? And traditionally, we always would as 4% and 6%. So consumer spending down. I don't know if it was that corporate income tax chase people away. I don't know if it was the tariffs chase tourists away. I don't know if Bermudians are still leaving. We need to focus on the economy. And that's my message for today.
Okay, thank you very much for your call. Appreciate it. Have a great one.
Let the dogs loose.
Okay, mate. Right there. Yeah, there are a number of other more taxing issues that are before the island and have been for the better part of 20 years. And is this a way of blurring the picture by coming up with these half-baked ideas? And here we are 2.5 years after government made the announcement. You'd have thought at the time the government made the announcement for reconsideration of our membership status, they would have had in hand, significant, realistic pros and cons that would have allowed us now 2.5 years later to have given them strong consideration. We seem to be moving quickly towards a deadline. I'm just somewhat amazed that no one can establish what your membership fee is going to be without telling you what your membership benefits are going to be. Anyhow, it's open 232-8989, and it's your open mic Sunday on Second Look. Yes, sir, you are on the air.
Yes, good morning. A recession is one of the flaws of capitalism that Maynard Keynes thought he could rescue. We're always going to have a boom and bust. This is the nature of capitalism. What it means is you have to be prepared for what's going to come. It's going to come. It goes in cycles. Boom and bust. But Maynard Keynes, he thought he could rescue capitalism. But you can't capitalize. You can't rescue it. It's a system where you have to, the real time is say, prepare for the inevitability, because it's going to come. I don't call for that. What I really want to call for was to help out the shadow minister for education.
Okay.
And his statement on failure. Over 50 years ago, when I was in high school, the teacher called us together for an informal discussion. And how it started was making, and a person, not if you make a mistake, but when, over 50 years ago discussion, when you make a mistake, what do you do? And I'm adding failure to failure. He said failure. What do you do? We all gave answers. And his response was, you have to make a correction. So what the shadow minister said is that it's like he's trying to send a rocket to the moon. No. If the minister, I don't know who it is, of education, can convene with some of the older teachers to try and solve the problems, because when I'm in high school, a principal could control 500 students. A teacher can't even control a classroom anymore. So the times have changed. It's not the education. The times have changed, which is difficult now to control the students. So, and then that's point one. The second point is that I believe that the teachers, when I went to high school, the teachers that taught us, they all had teachers training certificates, meaning they went to teachers training colleges to learn how to become a teacher. I think the UBP was the one who scrapped that and now allow people to go to the United States. The United States had the worst education system of the modern world. You go there to learn how to become a teacher, and you come back to Bermuda. So that could be part of the problem. So maybe they need to go back to the old system. If you want to become a teacher, you must qualify to come out of a teacher's training college where you are taught how to teach. I had a discussion with the same teacher. He said that my name came up in a staff meeting one day. And he said, don't worry about questions, it's okay. Meaning that they flag student, when a student is not performing how the teacher thinks, that student is flagged. So I don't know how they do this procedure is now. But they're going to have to go back to the old way and require that if you want to teach school, you must have a teacher's training certificate from the Commonwealth. There was a time when we didn't have American influence over our education system. It was everywhere in the Commonwealth. Even you went to Australia and came back, you had a teacher's training certificate, they hired you. So that's my point to the shadow minister for education.
Okay.
Is to try and it's simple. When anybody makes a mistake, you correct it. You try to correct it. But why you try to score political points on a serious issue? It's just trying to claim. This is why I do not believe the OBA are a genuine alternative to the PLP. The simple reason where he's just trying to, where he could have just maybe expressed that to the minister. He might have, I don't know. But they got to stop trying to make political points. When you just offer a suggestion. We have pensions. There are many things the UBP implemented after they were pushed by the opposition in those days with the PLP. Many things. They pushed them. And one of them was pension. So try and rather than try to keep scoring points, no. And like I said before, capitalism, we're influenced by it now. We're going to do interesting business, and it always has a boom and a bust. But you have to prepare for when times go bad. They're going to go bad.
Okay.
You might have so many years of good times. But the bad times are coming. That's the nature of capitalism. It's
All
simple.
right. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Appreciate
sir.
your point. Take care.
Thank you very much.
All the best. That have come up in the past week. Sorry about that. And we want to get your thoughts on it. We started off with the report on CARICOM that has been produced by the government. We see, as of yesterday's paper, we have a rising inflation rate that's causing a little bit of concern out there. We also had a report about the failures of the Gaming Commission intent, which is worthy. That's, again, has cost us a fair amount of money. And so we have a number of topics that we hit on this morning. Caller, you are on the air.
Yeah, good morning, David. How you doing there? Just listening to you.
Yes, sir.
I got a thought of my
Hi.
regarding the CARICOM subject. I feel you can bring on the Gibbons family, the Gibbons company. I mean, they got extensive involvement down there in the Caribbean, CARICOM.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're watching them on TV almost every night, sponsoring Test cricket and other things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all, and that sponsorship goes worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
And we also know that had the business interests down there for years.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some ideal people who could talk about the Caribbean, CARICOM, benefits as well as negatives. But as you can see, that they've constantly expanded the businesses down there. So as they would be ideal situation or people be able to talk about CARICOM. And as far as CARICOM, it's our closest island neighbors is Bahamas. 2 hours or so.
You're talking about the closest Caribbean island nation?
Because CARICOM is a regional organization.
Yeah, I'm just clarifying because physically speaking,
regional organization, and you would think people don't know how close we are physically to them in terms of location, right? They're a regional organization, and as far as and then you go to the ancestral relationships between the Caribbean and Bermuda. And in terms of, I'm talking about blood relationships, right? So it's, for me, it's a perfect fit.
Okay.
The close, the family, as well as we had our own businesses down there for many years, which is expanding because the Colonial Group, you can't say Colonial no more, Coral Isles Group, is buying the place up, buying up the Caribbean. But for some reason, it's wrong to have a relationship with them.
Okay.
I can't see how you can have your cake and eat it too.
All right. Thank you for your opinion. Appreciate it. Take care. Have a good day. Okay, folks, we're talking on the most recent documents that have been issued to the public for public discussion regarding a future relationship on a more intense level with the CARICOM grouping. And we have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, David. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Yeah, it's great to be back from a long holiday, but nothing's changed.
Yeah, that's right. The only thing that changes is change. What's up?
You're talking about the Caribbean. I mean, we all have ties to Caribbean. Our family has ties to Caribbean, and then most Bermudians have ties to Caribbean. But the point is, if the government wants us to read the Green Paper, how many people will read the Green Paper? Tell me.
Right.
Why you're spending so much money in the Caribbean, right? Why don't you take a full-page ad and say, okay, 20 years we've been associate members. Okay, here are the good points of today. This is what we got. Now, for full membership, this is what we're going to be paying, and this is what we're going to get. At least inform the public properly. How many people have phones and laptops to get onto the line and say, "Oh, I'm going to read the green paper."
Well, I think they do it that way just to make it difficult to inform people about what's going on. I mean, an item of this magnitude, in my view, deserves a copy of the paper in everyone's post box so that they can read it. They don't have to go online. They don't have to find out whether it's under gov.bm or it's here or it's there, it's everywhere. I mean, I did, because I can. I know how to go on and get these things. I would say it's complicated for those who don't have the computer expertise, per se, or not familiar with receiving their information that way. The hesitation simply is that you don't circulate this too far and too wide, because, as I mentioned at the opening of my comments, it's not a green paper. It's really more, it's probably just below a policy position paper than anything else. It says it invites discussion, but it already gives you the outcome that the government's concerned with. The last caller talked about actually you did as well, the cultural aspect here. Well, if the cultural aspect is the only reason, then let's become members of the Hibernian Association. Let's become members of the British Knights Association. Let's become a member of the European Union, and let's become a member of NAFTA. I mean, there's any 400 and some odd years of reasons and associations that we could equally make the same argument for. So the general public is looking for more than that, because that's what was promised by the former Home Affairs Minister, and was promised to be delivered to us in February of 2025, or maybe even 24. I can't remember which throne speech it came out of. I think it was November of 23 or 24. This is where this whole thing started. And all we got from that former cabinet minister was insults and injuries with regards to if you happen to disagree or happen to have a question about it. How dare you question that minister on positions that he's taken? And you were deemed to be a fool. You were deemed to be out of touch, to the point that he, in my view, insulted one of the probably the best premiers that we've had in the 19th and 20th century. So we'll wait your time. And after 2.5 years, this is what you've produced, and you produced it in such a limited fashion, and there's absolutely no way you're going to get consent. Because if people take the time, as you rightfully point out, to read the 60-odd pages that are involved, you're going to be greatly disappointed, because your questions that you had at the beginning will be there at the end. What has this relationship done for Bermuda? 23 years of experience. What has it cost us in Bermuda? What have we gotten from it in Bermuda?
Exactly.
And according to your own green paper, we're getting, quote unquote, full membership with limitations. Well, that's not full membership. I'm sorry. That's not the definition of full membership. Full membership is I go where I want to go, I do what I want to do, and under the powers of membership. And so there's just been a very, very poor showing, in my view.
How does this affect Bermuda's standing when it comes to beneficial ownership and stuff and all, when we're members of the OECD?
Sure. Where's those questions? Those questions are not answered. Those questions have been there since day one. And one would have thought that the green paper in its traditional style would have been at least attempting to answer those questions. We're at the point here that we don't even know what they're going to charge us for our, quote-unquote, inverted commas, full membership, but we think it's going to be around $2.2 million. Well, we think. I mean, I know that $2.2 million pales in comparison to the $1 billion revenue stream they were intending to employ. Can we put
that in the asphalt plan?
I mean, had we spent $2 million on the roads in the last 23 years, maybe our infrastructure wouldn't be as sorrowful as it is. So, anyway, you can see where my frustration is. My frustration is that this was a great promise. They basically stalled it for 2.5 years, and now they're attempting to shovel it down to people's throats and say, we must do it because it's really not that much money.
It's not that much money, it's not that much money. I mean,
it means a lot to senior citizens.
Has the government talked about what's the price of oil going to be, and what our goods are going to cost, and how much our groceries are going to cost? Yeah. If the freight goes up, it's going to be passed on to the consumer anyway.
Yeah. Like I said in my opening remarks, I like boats, but I'm not a member of any yacht club, dinghy club, or boat club in Bermuda. And the reason is I like boats, but I don't own a boat, so why would I? Anyway, thank you. Appreciate your call.
All right.
Welcome back. Appreciate your call. Take care. Yeah, it leaves a lot to be desired. And as I say, there's other topics this morning we'd like to get onto as well, but we'll take this call and see which way that's heading. Caller, good morning. You are on the air. Hello, caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I like the idea of joining CARICOM, just like I like the idea of us going independent and being a part of the United Nations. I want a full voice. I don't have a voice, no matter where we are. I don't like the idea that Bermuda has to depend on somebody else to speak for them in any capacity. So I support the idea of CARICOM. Matter of fact, in reality, I honestly believe that Bermuda's racial demographics plays a lot of the role into why we even question these things. Because the reality is, if it's a global north affair, we suddenly get positive. If it's a global south affair, suddenly we're negative. And I think that we need to be fair and honest no matter where, because the ultimate cost of this it has the potential when it comes to agriculture, when it comes to free trade, to be beneficial. And those logistics can be worked out to our advantage, because we can do better as a collective than we can as one individual nation that is really a non-dependent territory of Great Britain. It ain't as if they're coming to our rescue, but our brothers and sisters who we descend from certainly can garner more support collectively if we have a voice to sway them to do things to our liking. And I also like the idea that there are limitations in terms of us restricting, or like Bahamas stores, the influx of foreign nationals, although I also am careful because, it's okay to have certain people come here, certain racial groups come here, but we suddenly get up in airs when it comes to others coming here. And that imposes a problem with me. I see that as prejudicial and disingenuous at the least. Also, I would like to say that a lot of people may not realize, but on the inception of the free trade Caribbean movement, when it was first being organized, Bermuda was a part of that. Why you think we participate in Carifta Games? It celebrates CARICOM and the free trade movement in the Caribbean. So we can't do one thing and then turn our back to them in another way, So, and this recent negotiation for the cargo ship to not be tariffed, we thought it was Bermuda doing that, when the reality was that the Caribbean was the biggest assistance when it came to making sure our cruise, our cargo ships wouldn't be tariffed.
I think you'd find some disagreement with the Bermuda Shippers group as to who participated at what level regarding Bermuda's shipping exercises with the United States of America. I appreciate it. I mean, that's out there.
CARICOM that instigated that being able to come off in full capacity. So and that's what happens when it's a collective versus just one entity. So,
like I said, I think you'll find some difference in regards to that story with what the Bermuda shipping companies did.
But let's be fair and honest. This wouldn't even be an argument if it wasn't about black and white. Because I notice white people only complain when it seems like it's something black going on. You know what I mean? And in return, that doesn't happen. We just accept what the global norm has to offer. That's positive. You mentioned some of those things, and I would also support joining some of those things.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
So I don't play that game just because it's the Caribbean.
Okay.
Anyway, that's my point of view.
Appreciate it, mate. And that's what the show's all about, to have your point of view. There you go. Appreciate it. Okay, mate. Bye. Yep. Please, come in with your own opinions on this, because this this affects us all. This is just not specific to a football association or a Carifid team or whatever. This is a policy that the Bermuda government and everyone involved there in Bermuda is part of this, whether you like it or not, frankly, to borrow an expression. You are on the air. Good morning. You are on the air. Good morning. Hello. What's going on with the gremlins this morning? There we go. You are on the air. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. It's interesting that you're talking about CARICOM, right? Yeah, there are a lot of questions that we could ask about what benefit is the full membership gonna give us, right? Well, here's some food for thought, right? If we have been partial members, okay, how have we capitalized on the partial membership? I.e., we're trying to say that, this is going to help us in terms of our cost of living and all of that. It will open up all these trading partners and, help us for food security. Listen, that's got to be a joke, right? Our trading partners, if we've been associated with this Caribbean group of nations for 20-odd years, right? Tell me something. Who are we trading with them? Because there's nothing to stop you from trading with anybody, right? I could trade with Russia if I wanted to, right? I could trade with China.
Takes two to tango, right? Takes two to tango.
Come on, right? You understand? There's nothing barring that, right? So you mean to say that if I get a membership, that's going to help me to establish those trade relationships? Our trade relationships are so established, it's not funny.
After 400 years, yeah.
Come on now, right? Come on. And guess what? I'm a type of person that doesn't believe that government can lead me anywhere. Right? You understand? We're having trouble right now in Bermuda. And if you look at government, you say, well, okay, so are you going to stop the price of oil from going up? I mean, come on, right? We're so insulated or isolated from a lot of stuff, right? That, as you say, when America sneezes, we catch a cold, for crying out loud, right? You understand? So I don't believe in none of that, right? I've got Caribbean cousins right now. You understand?
Yes.
I could press a button right now, go on a chat with all of my Caribbean cousins and all of that, and guess what? I guarantee we would come up with. So what you guys doing over there in Bermuda? The same question I'd ask them. Well, what you guys doing over in St. Kitts?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
The Prime Minister or the Premier of St. Kitts came here, right? And talk about trading with one another. I asked them a simple question. They got a whole bunch of land there, right? Okay? Well, they ain't got no farmers. They ain't got no farmers to farm that land so that we can help to create more food security with each other. Look, let me say something to you. I don't want to read that paper because right now it's as laughable as me getting on the phone and calling you today, right? You understand? Give me some solid, not no pie in the sky ideas that Bermuda Economic Development supports this and so group supports that. So what? So what? Tell me, are you serious? There's nothing stopping you from establishing any trade relationships with anybody in this world. Okay?
Yep. As was pointed out by one of the early callers with regards to the Gibbons entrepreneurial exercises throughout the Caribbean. That's not the Bermuda government who introduced the Gibbonses to that, per se.
I didn't even want to go there.
Right?
I didn't even want to go there because guess what? If you really want to, you can talk to the people that have established relationships right now.
Exactly.
And guess what? They don't look nothing like me. Right? And if you're a government trying to lead, I'm going to tell you something right now. Don't talk about prejudice if you're prejudiced yourself, right? Man, drop that in the bucket, right? Don't tell me I'm prejudiced. Look, you're prejudiced, right?
Right.
You're not even. Are those benefits in the paper? Look, we already have established. Well, not we, because the government ain't got nothing.
Right.
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 You understand that?
It's been individual efforts, entrepreneurial efforts, and some have been successful, and some have not been successful.
Prejudice talk, right?
Yep. Yep.
Now, give me a break,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
If you're government and you're leading people, then I'm gonna tell you, don't lead me into foolishness, right? Because I'm gonna look at you and say, hold on, you're not telling me anything, right? As a matter of fact, if I followed your lead, I'll be more messed up than I am right now,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And I want to keep my mind free and clear from foolishness, right?
Yep.
We can establish relationships with whomever we like, right? And government, all you got to do is show me how you are leading this country into food security and all this relationship. And right now, I tell you what, that cost of living initiative is going to go away in a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
That cheap basket of goods, I don't think they're any cheaper, are they?
Mm-mm.
Come on, you giving tax rebates to Balco that you're not going to charge them on the oil?
Yep.
Come on,
Yeah,
a lot of stuff. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
You've got Fiji insurance companies linking up, monopolies right here, right? That you can't even stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
And
Appreciate
guess
your
what?
comments.
Government, you can't change that.
Yeah.
You can't change that.
Yeah.
Have a great one.
All right, mate. All the best. Thanks.
More of Bermuda's best music mix. Best music mix.
Oh, you're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Sullivan.
Good morning, morning.
And to your audience.
Thank you.
With all due respect to your last caller, that he used ridiculous a lot of times, right? But talking about you wouldn't even bother to read the paper, right? And just go off a cuff and just go off on a tangent, underinformed, uninformed, because you feel this way, you think this way. It's like when people say government doesn't tell us anything about this, that, the other, and then you say, well, one of the ministers on the radio right now. Oh, I don't listen to those guys, right? It's I mean, at some point we need to grow up, and I'm not saying that we need to all agree on everything, but be informed. I mean, it's like some of your callers are bringing up the roads, where the minister responsible for that has laid out, right, the plans for that, and that there is a new plant in train, and that the old plant, basically was on its last leg, which causes setbacks. But look, I'm not here to defend government. I'm talking about the people themselves, right? I had a lot of loose talk, and okay, I'm a little more informed because I take the time to, say, tune in on a Friday evening and find out what's going on in the House of Assembly,
right?
Or what's being said, what's being planned. But you get people that don't even want to engage or participate, yet they have all the answers. And I think one of your callers, when he mentioned the Gibbons, he was basically saying that it's good enough, to go there and invest and make a ton of money, but we should not be associated, with the Caribbean. And whether people like it or not, right? Your first caller said this is racial. And yeah, in his mind, it probably is. And we know why. I know why, right? Because, he said that, not me. But he's made it racial by taking that stance. And the fact of the matter is that it does have a lot to do with race, whether we want to believe it or not. Because even though blacks are majority in Bermuda, like America, is still a racist country. Okay?
Yep.
Now, and you can say, oh, well, we have a black government, we have a black judge. No, the system, the institution, what they resent. Yes, we've come a long way, and there's still a long way to go. But we haven't learned how to work together. We're just at odds at every point. You know what I mean? You have still the people that say, oh, government, they haven't done anything. Right? Now, when somebody talks to me like that, the conversation is over, all right? Because they have done things. Do they need to do more? Absolutely. And when people use this false premise that, there are more pressing things than, membership in CARICOM, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. There are a lot of things on the table. That's why you have various ministers. So that's just a false premise. And the fact is that when you want to talk about how much money we're spending, 400 years, under a colony of Britain, right? I told you recently that we're benefiting because, people can go there and live and that sort of thing. I don't know how long that's going to last. But we spend millions every year to accommodate the governor, all right, whose main interest is to Whitehall, not to Bermuda. And this is nothing personal against any governor, but his mission is to represent the interests of Britain first. So I'm just saying, take a breath, get informed, and respectfully, put your vision a little bit. Thank you, Mr.
Okay, all the best. Thanks very much indeed. Take care.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we have a number of people to express their opinions, and that's what I like. I like having a kind of show that we get both the two and the throwing on it, because that's what discussion and no discussion papers should be about. This paper is not a discussion paper. Sorry, that's my opinion. As the last caller had his opinion. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Just a quick rebuttal, right? That last caller?
Yeah.
That's why I don't like to call talk shows, right? Well, he spent time criticizing my opinion.
Right.
Listen, I said what I said, right?
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
Right? And I don't mind telling people, no, I haven't read it, right? I'm just basing my information on what new information can you possibly give me.
Mm-hmm.
If we've been associate members for 20-odd years, right? Well, my God, have mercy.
Mm-hmm.
Our trade relationships, what's your programs? What are you government trying to establish?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to see as a benefit?
Right.
Well, I would look at it and say, well, tell me about your past relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can convince me about your past relationships, then I would look at it and say, well, let's carry that one forward.
Sure. Let's have the information that's being asked for as opposed to the information you want us to know about, and that is the difference.
You're trying to sell me this as we are going to establish trade relationships with our Caribbean nations.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I went to a cricket game in Antigua, right? I heard some names. I said, oh, shucks, all them people are in Bermuda, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if we want to take it any further, right, there are a whole bunch of blacks that have come from the Caribbean countries.
Mm-hmm.
And I was shocked to hear it when I was going away for a cricket game, and I was hearing these. They said, "Oh, wow, they're in Bermuda."
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
All my relations on my father's side are from St. Kitts.
Yeah.
And I'll give you something. I'm gonna put this in the gun right now. Right? I'll put this bullet in the gun right now.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Don't talk about immigration to me. Right? Don't talk about immigration to me. Right?
Mm-hmm.
My father can pass on his citizenship to his children.
Mm-hmm.
All of his children that weren't even born there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And guess what? He can pass it on to his grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to put this in the gun, right? I am a Bermudian.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me?
I'm
status Bermudian. A status Bermudian.
I'm with you.
I cannot pass on my citizenship to my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be joking.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk about immigration to me, right? Okay. Learn from your Caribbean nations, right? Because you've boxed off immigration.
Yep.
Okay.
Very good.
And learn from them because they have opened up the borders to their Caribbean counterparts. Mm-hmm. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't even get that in Bermuda.
Right.
Okay.
Good stuff. Thanks for your call back. Appreciate it. Okay, folks, we're talking CARICOM report this morning. We're going to try to get on to the Gaming Commission, and we're going to try to also get your opinion on the most recent transfer that we had with regards to our taxi services. And love to hear from some of the taxi drivers out there as to their thoughts and opinions on that subject matter. We're moving right along. It's 10:15. We're just going to have a quick commercial break, and we will be back. You are next on the line. Welcome to Second Look.
Good morning. How you doing?
Pretty well, mate. Fine, thanks.
I'm with the last caller that rebutted himself to say, what are the benefits of CARICOM? What is preventing trade today? Mm-hmm. When you put CARICOM alone, it's probably been great, but you compare it to like the Gaming Commission, how much has been spent, But when you put it up against a non-racist issue in Bermuda, which is probably the most important because it's the best and brightest, it's our teachers, it's our education. And that's a non-racist issue, which then leads into why is there still no trade school, which when you encompass that with our education department, you then realize why there's no trade school, because this is our best and brightest, supposed to be teaching our kids. I don't think race plays a part on why we haven't fixed it. And if you use this green paper, which is as good as any other paper, and you put it up against the Hopkins report, which I think single-handedly exposes the solutions on so many levels, and because it's been out for so long, it can only be true, because everything that he's espoused in there that should have happened or could have happened hasn't happened. And this is why we're in the predicament we're in today with educating our children. Mm-hmm. So, and I think you will get distracted from unless you're political and in the racist movement. The CARICOM issue may rise to the top, but I think the second caller you had, education is our number one. If it's not for the fact that it's our children, how can such our best and brightest not solve it? Mm-hmm. Is it true? Educate me on this. Is it true that our civil servants cannot call your talk show and speak to education? A government teacher is not allowed to call your radio. Is that a rule?
I think it's depending on certain organizations and associations. They have avoided talk shows in general. I don't necessarily think it's peculiar to this talk show or anything out of the Bermuda Broadcasting Studios. However, I will tell you there is a frustration by all of us here at Bermuda Broadcasting in attempting to try to get government spokespersons to come in and explain the policy. The door is open. You have to be prepared for some tough questions because they'll be coming at you. And there's just a general avoidance. I mean, I can tell you from my personal point of view, I've had two government ministers say to me, yes, I'd love to come on, love to talk about the policy, blah, 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 whatever. I can't remember the subject matter now. And within days of saying yes, the call back, I have a conflict in the schedule, or I can't make it. Can we do it 3 months from now? And, in some instances, I know there are interviewers here at the studio who have just given up extending the invitation, as I did last week, and I will do again today. The door is open. It's your policy. I would be the worst person in the world to try to explain your policy, but I'm the best person in the world to ask questions about the policy in that sense, as are yourself and other callers who would call in to want to know more. But if we can't get it from the horse's mouth, well, then you're going to have to be subject to speculation at worst, inquisitiveness at best, regarding things that you're trying to shovel down the throats of the people of Bermuda. That's just the way it is.
Do you think race has something to do with it?
No, I don't think so. I'm personally comfortable with the fact that it's not a racial thing.
You think it's fear?
Yeah, well, I
think it's fear.
I think the aspect is that they're not used to being questioned. If you've seen any number of quote-unquote press releases that are being done by ministers, particularly at this time of the year, and they are reading word for word from a piece of paper, never looking up at the camera to say, convince me with your eyes as opposed to what your words are saying. And that's just simply because they don't have a handle on what is government policy, in my view. So therefore, they're safer by reading it, even if it's grammatically incorrect, and even if they can't pronounce the words, they will read from the piece of paper because that's the marching orders from top to the minister. A minister who has a handle on the subject matter is wonderfully at ease to talk about it. Probably had a hand in developing it. Probably had a hand in enunciating it to his fellow cabinet ministers and so forth, and is prepared to talk to the breadth and the depth of the policy. I think
me being Bermudian and realizing that it is a political issue to why we don't solve many of these non-racial problems. So it's based on politics first over people or politics over children. But knowing very well that the state of education, and you hear like it's not just broken children anymore, it's broken teachers. Why don't the actual teachers, I mean, we don't expect teachers to march on behalf of the children on Parliament. I mean, that would be that would be
an indicting situation. Absolutely, yeah.
They would definitely have to fear for their lives based on race. There, so we wouldn't have that happen. But how come teachers don't call? I know you always hear. I have heard people call talk shows and they said, "I'm a past teacher." Why don't present teachers call? I'm sure there's some present teachers that are well off, whether through the education department or inheritance or through marriage, their spouses in the Ivy. Why don't they actually speak up on behalf? I mean, we hear all the time about the elderly, and I experienced it myself, the elderly in the hallways. I mean, I'm only 59, and I went in for 5 days, and I didn't feel sick, but they told me I was really sick. But then when I went out in the hallway, I really felt sick when I saw my 60-year-old was in a special room, and I saw 70 and 80-year-old people lined up in the hallways. I truly began to feel sick. I almost wanted to say, take me out of this room, put me in the hallway, because I don't feel sick, even though you guys are telling me I'm sick. And I don't think I've felt any sicker of being a Bermudian. And like I said, it wasn't due to my sickness, but it was having to walk out of my beautiful room. Beautiful room. It was one beautiful room. Let me tell you, probably better than where I live by far. And when I went in the hallway, I like I said, there's nothing made me feel any sicker to see myself. I didn't want to come out of my room anymore because I didn't think that elderly people were looking at me to say, what is he doing, this white boy in a beautiful room in here? And you got 70 and 80-year-old people lined up in a hallway. I've never felt so disgusted in my life.
Well, I can tell you, I can certainly tell you from Second Look's point of view, it's not for lack of trying to get the policy makers, if you will, those who are in authority, those who have knowledge, better knowledge than I ever will, with regards to either their association or their union or whatever. Here, the door is wide open, and I can almost broaden that out and speak on behalf of everyone here at Bermuda Broadcasting. Come and talk to us, come and explain the situation to us that we obviously have either missed a point on or whatever. That's the beauty about conversation, but it's continuously met with. Most cases,
I think if you just told them you're not going to use any of your personal opinions to not scare them away, you're just going to hold the Hopkins report on your desk. And
more importantly,
any questions.
I say, or more importantly, your own green paper. You produce this document, so let me talk to you about it. What did you mean by this? What does it mean when you say that we're not getting full membership? We're getting membership with limitations, and even the membership that we're getting with limitations, we still have to go back to another authority to see whether or not we can say anything about it. So I mean, don't be trying to sell me something, selling me a Cadillac, and you drive up with a Volkswagen.
Right. That's why I can relate to that person. Like, I'm not going to read the green paper because what haven't we been able to do now that the green paper is saying we're going to be able to do in the future? Really, the number one thing is we're going to have to give the CARICOM $2 million. But at this point, we could have been important if the gentleman's relating to why we have Filipinos and the Portuguese here. Why isn't there more West Indians here now? What has prevented all that? And it may be because the pound per family, dollar to dollar, that the Caribbean countries demand more pay than the Filipinos or maybe the Azores. I think it comes down to a financial thing versus a race thing, because what little black businesses we do have in the construction industry, they too hire the Filipinos and the Portuguese. So are those contractors racist, or are they, is there benefits from hiring those groups versus the blacks? like I said, are the black contractors that are here, are they racist?
Yep.
We're not hiring the West Indians. What has prevented us from having the St. Kitts people here on a work permit doing construction, or nurses, or whatever, nannies, caregivers? I don't know. But
okay, mate. Appreciate your call.
Put that up against the Hopkins report.
All right. Good stuff. All the best, mate. Thanks for calling. Bye. Okay, folks, we're talking this morning on matters that are happening here in Bermuda on a daily basis now, and questioning to a degree, what's behind this? What is it that you're trying to sell in this instance? And with that said, we will go to the phone lines. Good morning. You are on the air.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, sir.
I like to talk about the politicians making themselves more
accessible.
Pardon?
Accessible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, you would hear Lewis Brown Evans, Sir George Swan, and the rest, Freddie Red, and the best of them would come on your program, and everybody knew what was taking place.
Yeah.
But seems like in today's world, they're looking for your vote, and they will put policies there, and you can't come on and say that is wrong or right. Or or the recent one I can't remember. The premier was on a show a couple years ago, and he was saying what's on his mind, but you couldn't phone in and talk to him.
Oh yeah, that came out of that whole COVID thing. That's the biggest disaster that's ever happened regarding public information in Bermuda in probably the past 50 years. And we are still in certain instances required, if you want to have this person on, you have to send your questions in advance for approval. And that's just, I can tell you, as a broadcaster, that's not going to happen. Sorry. So if that's your rules for engaging with the public that I need to know so that I can have a quick answer back, or I can have an answer that I want to go because I know the question you're going to ask me, that's not interviewing. I'm sorry. It's just not. And I know that certain people have said, well, something's better than nothing. And I agree with that. I agree with your situation. Every situation is different. But that's a restriction. That's just a non-starter with this show. And I know a number of shows in Bermuda. They just don't bother to do that any longer because we're not going to be put through a litmus test before we get the leaders of our country or heads of ministries or government spokespersons to come on and wait for the question. I can't tell you what the calling customs are going to ask you. Don't be so stupid, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Well, they basically knew what type of people that they're dealing with out there anyway.
Yeah.
Most of them would talk behind someone's back, but when it's man to man, they're like a mouse that would drop a little stone on the ground and run back in the hill. That's the mentality of it today, see?
Yeah. But with all that said, that door is open anytime, any place, anywhere. I prefer it to be live. I prefer the audience to have a chance to call in with their questions, and if they don't, fine. That's the audience's choice as well. But the current aspect of information and quote-unquote transparency is just non-existent, I guess, for certain broadcasting, certain communication companies within Bermuda. It's a shame.
I look at them and I wonder, you people actually intimidate a certain group of people around here? None of them intimidate me, black, white, pink or green. If I'm got something to say, I'm going to damn say it.
Yep.
So that's what we have to deal with now.
Yep. True that. Okay, thanks so much for your call. Appreciate you calling in. Have a great week. Okay, folks, we can move on. We can stick with the CARICOM issue, or we can move on to the gaming, or maybe the recent changes within our transportation taxi industry. Caller, good morning. You are on the air.
Good morning, David, and all your listening audience. I'm going to change the subject a little bit this morning. Okay, the seniors. We got to get a better situation for the seniors. Here they are, they pay and pay and pay. They've been paying the light bills and telephone bills and everything else, grocery bills, for like 50 years. Then they come across and get Future Care or HIP. Then they get sick, and they don't cover them to go away. They only pay for so much. Why is this? You know, why don't they have an insurance across the border that covers everybody in Bermuda? I mean, it's only a small island. And, so I've had friends that have had to go away, and the bill is outrageous because Future Care didn't pay for it. And what's that, Roger? And I had to go away and pay for mine when I had a pacemaker lead that came out at Fly to Baltimore. And a lot of the seniors, they can't go to a doctor, a specialist, because it's like $300 to $600. And a lot of them aren't taking the pills. They're cutting back on the pills. Yes, they do have a good program for the pills. I do say that. HIP and Future Care do pay a lot of the medical and bills, and when you go to the hospital. But the hospital, those poor nurses are working their butts off day and night. They need to have an 8-hour shift, because who can work 12 hours when you have so many sickly, elderly people that's in the hospital laying in the hallways? And it's not really safe. All the germs and different things that are going on, and the poor nurses are overwhelmed, and the doctors. So what can we do about it?
Right. Well, let me tell you what I've done about it. In the sense of the last couple of weeks, we had Future Care was one of the issues that came up on the show, and this sort of fits right in with the last call I just had. I dutifully went to my office on the Monday morning, and I picked up the phone and I said, okay, who's the honcho in charge of Future Care? And I had to go through about 3 or 4 different government sections to finally find, quote unquote, the honcho for Future Care. And for which I then received, as you do 99% of the time when you call government, I wind up with a voicemail. So I left an exhaustive voicemail saying, this is David Sullivan, I'm a host of a show on Sunday mornings. The issue of Future Care has come up, and it's in the feelings of myself and certainly my audience that we'd love to have somebody from Future Care, preferably yourself, come on the show and let's talk generally about Future Care. Not we weren't going to criticize it, we weren't going to knock somebody down. It was a friendly voicemail invitation.
Right.
That's probably 3 weeks ago. I have yet to have a reply from that voicemail or an email or anything. And there I am. So,
and you're still waiting.
Yep, I'm still waiting.
That's what happens here. You call somebody and you get on hold, and they never call you back. That's so sad.
As I say, it's not from lack of trying. It's not from lack of trying. We do our best. All of us up here do our best to get the information to the people. That's what broadcasting is all about. And when you have one side of the coin not participating in any way, shape, or form, not even a courtesy of reply, thank you, I've gotten your message, nothing, zero, like you don't exist. So,
and the seniors get frustrated when they have to keep calling and they don't get no reply.
And I will promise you, tomorrow morning I will do the same thing again, because you've called in about the subject matter. I just want the audience to know that, I heard the request 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. I just haven't had a response back. And I do not speak authoritatively for Future Care. I can't. I don't, first of all, not even a member of Future Care, but none the least of which, there is somebody out there who is an authority. And that's the person I want on the show. And that's the person you as a listener want to hear from. And indeed, if you get the opportunity to call them, because it might be popular or whatever, you want to ask the question.
And I would love to, help a lot of the seniors that are struggling. They can't even afford their groceries.
Right.
It's so sad. It breaks my heart.
Okay. Thank you so much for your call. And
thanks, David. All the best.
I'll keep plugging for you. I'll keep plugging.
All right. Good
Take
luck.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, so I mean, it's again the frustration that we go through on a regular basis, and we're not looking to have a gotcha moment with a minister or a gotcha moment with the head of a department. We're answering a call from our listeners that say, "Can we get more information on this?" And if the reaction that I got is anything close to what the average person is getting, I can understand the frustration fully and completely. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Good morning. How are you today, David?
I'm fine. I think I'm having a good show. We're covering a couple of different subject matters, and it's the open mic Sunday, so I like to do that from time to time and just let people get off their chest what's bothering them, and hopefully, I know they listen to the show. I know for a fact that they listen to the show. They just, for whatever reason, have a resilience from not coming on. I don't know why. Can't explain it.
Well, I would say yes. You're having a good dialogue between everybody for pros, cons, etc. On the various subjects. I just like to be quick on about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 subjects and throw out some thoughts.
All right.
On CARICOM, someone mentioned having a list of the pros, cons against associate benefits versus full. And I think that's an excellent idea so that everything's in a nutshell. And it should be done on each section of that green paper. I also think it would be helpful for the presentation that Sir John did several years ago to be revisited. I think he's not too well, but it was recorded. So maybe there is a way of having the points that he raised brought up again for discussion, and also taking the identity politics out of everything, or identity out of how we make decisions. In the past, our ancestors were not as highly educated, I would say, as most people are today, but they used something called common sense. And we're in a geopolitical world right now, which is in a lot of turmoil. And economic debt, etc., is something that we really, really need to look at. And we need to sort of step back, look at all the ramifications, I would say. It's hard to take your identity out of things. We're a cosmopolitan society. So some of us have ties down with the island. Some of us have ties with the U.S., Canada. Some have ties over at the Philippines. Some have ties with Europe. Some have ties with Africa. And we have children that they are biracial, so they have ties and foot in other areas as well. So it's going to be their world. So we need to pay attention to also how they feel. Because young adults, sometimes when you listen to them, they're open to having a discussion. So I think that also has to come into play. Education. Someone mentioned about teacher training college. I'm of the age where I can say there was a gentleman who you may remember called D.J. Williams.
Oh, yes.
And he had very rigid ideas, I guess you might say. And
disciplinary. I think disciplinarian was the word they used back then.
Yes. But there was a sort of list of higher education institutions that weren't considered the best place to go if you were going to become a teacher. And so that, I think, also has validity to it. On the health area, which the lady before me was just mentioning about, you had 2 people on. Craig Cannonier was one, and Dr. Dolan was the other.
Yes.
I thought some very interesting points were brought up regarding, especially the fact that there is no round table that a doctor is a representative on. Well, aren't they the specialists in health area?
That certainly was Dr. Doling's point, that's for sure. That was certainly his point. Yep.
So, quickly, that's something I would say deserves consideration. The Gaming Commission. What ROI have we had for what we paid out? And we don't even still have those sort of little slot machines that some guys used to like to just give them a little taste of, something where I don't think anybody got really, really carried away, but there might have been the odd ones. So what are they really regulating? And then the last thing, municipalities.
Yes.
Of course, that's gone down the river. But, we the taxpayers pay everybody's wage who's a politician. So, if there's a certain segment of the tax-paying public for Hamilton and St. George's who are going to be taxation with no elected representation, then I think it's up to the rest of us to keep a very, very close eye on what's happening. Because most of us, I think, would agree that the municipalities under the present group, the mayor's grouping, have done a very good job of pulling things back from the brink. I mean, unfortunately, they weren't able to win the case with that dreadful thing that happened where Parlerville
Park,
and all that was going to, go by the wayside and everything. But it's like everything else.
Yep.
You can't win them all, but you put your best effort there.
Yes.
So that's all I wish to say this morning.
Thank you so much for calling. Appreciate it.
Everyone.
Yep. Have a great week. Talk to you soon.
Too.
And beware the Ides of March.
I certainly will.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Okay, folks, we are closing in on our time, and then, however, the phone lines are still open, 232-8989. We are touching on various subjects this morning. This is your Open Mic Sunday, and your chance to express your views. CARICOM has certainly taken up a lot, but it's a very important matter that needs, if not your reading and research, at least some sort of direct communication with your elected MP to find out exactly what it is they're trying to sell Bermuda into. It's not a question that this is something new. We have a 23-year resume of our relationships with CARICOM. It should be just as easy as many of the callers this morning. Those who've been for it and those who are against it as such, or not necessarily in favor, but seeking more information. Here's our experience. Here's what we have. Here's what is done for us. And this is the reason why we should be contemplating fuller membership other than pleasing some relatives to the south. Or anywhere for that matter. Caller, you are on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you this morning?
I'm wonderful.
You had a caller on earlier talking about CARICOM.
Yes.
And some of the islands that the inheritance of your birth is passed on to your family.
Yes.
But I just want to make the point. I have a daughter in Dominican Republic.
Okay.
And she had a Bermuda passport, and the birth certificate people in Dominican made one mistake on her birth date, right?
Okay.
They made her 2 years older than what she is. And since I didn't see the passport much, because she was with her mother, and I'm in Bermuda, so I got somebody to bring the passport back for me so I can renew it. Anyway, make a long story short, the immigration, I pointed out to him, I said, this was a mistake on her birth. And I didn't pick it up because she was with her mother with her passport. Anyway, do you know the immigration's been dragging me out for 3 years to correct it? They've even made me go get even though I'm on my daughter's birth certificate, they made me get a DNA. I had to fly down to Dominican. I had to pay all this money to get her mother, because her mother was remarried, living in France. I had to pay for her to come down to sign the papers. And these people just keep on dragging me on. And I'm a Bermudian, so she should be Bermudian through her father, right?
Yeah, well, at the time of her birth, depending on what the policy was at the Bermuda Immigration Department, and that's the magical thing that people don't understand. You can't take one story and relate it to another, because in between those two stories, there may have been a change in policy by the Immigration Department of Bermuda, and therefore one that, not only Bermuda, it happens in every country, therefore one that's solid for the older child may not necessarily be solid for the middle child or the younger child, because of time passing and policy changing. So in that instance, on a quick generality, your daughter, you're Bermudian at the time of her birth, a resident Bermuda at the time of her birth, you're filling in a lot of those boxes that take you towards yes. Now, there may be something peculiar in your story, and we don't need to go into that or share it here. All I'm saying to you is that immigration in most countries is run by policy, by government, as opposed to law, which, as you know, right now is a big battle in the United States with the current administration trying to do away with what they call the pram babies, where somebody is born in the United States, not of either American parent, but yet they become American automatically. So every country has its own little doodad, and you can't be too general.
My point is, we have to be the passport.
Yeah, right.
And it was just one mistake picked up on it.
Yep.
And these people have been dragging me through for 3 years.
Yeah. And I'm sure that has a lot to do with the fact that we don't even do our own passports here. We send them over to England, which then brings in another whole bailiwick of people that want to exercise their opinion. One of the things for sure, a government employee, you're going to have bureaucracy.
For a while, I was thinking, because I don't support the government. All the government's people are working in immigration and putting pressure on me. But I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yep. Everyone has their own experience. Yeah,
but I just thought I'd point that out.
Very much so. Appreciate that.
That's
good. That's just more information for general knowledge for everybody. I appreciate you making the call in. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a sort of an unknown, unappreciated situation by many people. You just, within families, you have these discrepancies of the older son or daughter has it, this, that, and the other thing, and 10 years passed or 5 years passed, and the policy got changed within the location, and all of a sudden, bingo, you don't have it. And let me tell you, that river floats right up to my door. I've had a number of interesting conversations with a number of immigration departments over the years here in North America, and depending on the time and the place you're talking about, here's your answer, and it's completely different from the next situation you bring up, so you can't connect the tissues. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Good morning.
How are you, brother? Not sure where you are or what you're talking on, but it's breaking up, so either stand still or get close to wherever you're transmitting from.
CARICOM.
No, I understand. I understand. I'm just saying that you are breaking up as you're coming in. Yeah. So it's not a question of a radio background. It's just that if you're on like a mobile phone or a wireless phone in the house, and that moving around could be breaking up the signal.
Give me three airplanes, 3 cargo ships, so that we don't have to go and ask Uncle Donald for permission to move products. To move products from there to here. Then I can understand what trade and all those good things are about. But until we have direct links, without having to ask Uncle Donald's permission, it don't make sense.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much. Sorry for the breakup in the transmission, but that's the that's the detail that one would sort of at least be looking for some direction on that detail as to how one, as opposed to the aspirational thoughts that this might lead, that might lead, and the other thing might happen and could happen. And we have, this isn't a question of an island that was formed yesterday and 60,000 people appeared last night and starting from the beginning. We have a very long and rich history that seems to just be bypassed with regards to how Bermuda works, other than the emotional aspect of, well, it's because that's where Aunt Mary lives, or that's where Uncle Joe lives, and they came to Bermuda 100 years ago, and did they? How did they do that? Bermuda wasn't here. Interesting. Caller, you are on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, David Sullivan.
Hey! Now turn that radio down, Mark. You know better than that.
I don't have to. Listen.
I forgot to ask you last week, and I apologize. How's your mother?
Mom's fine. She's in Sarasota.
Good for her. Good for her. Okay.
She's actually, she went to hospital. Last week she was in hospital. She got pulmonary issues. But I said, thank goodness it happened to you while you were there and not in Bermuda. And she's recovering. She's doing fine.
Good. You give her my best.
Well, one of the boys is flying out to see her for 2 days today.
Good.
Getting ready for the boat race. I've missed part of the show. I had to go outside. Did anybody bring up the fact that at 11:30 or 12 o'clock on Friday night, the House passed the legislation for the municipalities, 19 to 11?
Okay.
I haven't heard anybody talk about that yet.
I guess it didn't. I've got Saturday's paper. If it's in there, I'm sure it won't be. If that's what it got passed.
It didn't make the paper.
So it'll hit the paper tomorrow morning, I guess. And can you give us a quick shot on it? A little summary.
It was passed 19 to 11. That's all. And Scott Pierman gave the oratory speech of his lifetime, and put the emphasis right where it belongs. And they upset Mr. Burt very much by saying, you can't run the country. How can you run the municipality? Which everybody seems to be very happy about their performance so far. But I guess it's up for grabs. It's decisions made. You can't turn it back now. But I was very upset to hear that some of this inane, useless comments made by people in the House. At the hour of the night, my patience is very limited anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's typical in par for the course, where they don't want you to really know anything about it. They'll wait till 2 o'clock in the morning and get it done. Again, that's not a comment on the current government. That's a comment on governments. The least they want the people to know, the further away they'll put the information. And the most recent example of that, short of the late night debate in the House of Assembly, which I will certainly follow up on and see if we can get somebody to come in and talk about it, is the recent Green Paper. There's just no information of any validity per se. It's opinion, it's emotion, it's a could be, would be, should be. That's not reasons for discussion. But the people in Bermuda are fairly simple-minded people, and just, as my father would have said years ago, just show me the whole fish. Don't tell me how big you think the fish was, or let me see the whole fish, and then I'll tell you whether it's worth the money.
Like David Luke's father would say, blow me down and call me Jack.
That's right. And that's kind of the mental attitude that I think a number of people in Bermuda have. Just, don't make it fancy. Just tell me what we're doing here. And when you get to those kind of direct questions, it's kind of like looking for when your flight's delayed at an airport and you're looking for somebody who works for the airlines.
Get it?
Yeah, can't find them anywhere. And the same thing goes here. The moment a question wants to come up, they scatter like somebody turned on the lights in a room full of cockroaches. And anyway, okay, I will definitely, follow up on the municipality side and see what we can get from either the authority itself that may have caused it to happen, or by those who are going to be obviously affected by that decision.
Very upsetting.
Yep.
And all the rules there too that come with it.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, mate. All the best. Say hello to your mom for me. Thanks.
Will do, David.
Okay. Bye-bye. Yeah. Okay, folks. We can take one or two more calls if you like. 232-8989. The subject matter is just about an open book right about now, because we've had a number of issues come up. And caller, you're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Didn't Mark just say that the government's going to take over the sea, right? Or is that what he meant?
Well, I'm guessing. I don't know. Again, I wasn't listening at 11:30 at night either to the House of Assembly. I'm a fairly religious leader, but listener, I should say. But no, sorry, you lost me at that time of night.
Yeah, I guess there was everybody.
Yeah. So I don't know. I can't even tell you what the municipality legislation was being considered. So nothing in Saturday's paper because it was even too late for the Royal Gazette, and so I guess it'll be in the paper tomorrow as to what.
Okay, I'll just quick. Okay, remember when they had, you could say the last mayor, all the money that they gave away for a hotel or something, millions of dollars? Then they took it to case in, I don't know, Mexico or States.
Yep.
That was $20 million.
Yep.
Then he took it to the Prairie Council in England. That was $20 million, or $60 million, and nobody's been locked up for it.
Yep.
Nobody asked her any questions.
Yep.
And they say, oh, the attorney, what are you going to say, time run out?
Yeah. I mean, you know.
I mean, I'm just surprising now.
Yeah. I agree.
Right?
I agree. No information, no transparency, no accountability. It goes on and goes on and goes on. I just don't know when the bubble's going to pop, and if it only does, I don't want to be around.
The thing what I've been hearing, that when they do that, if it is, they're going to move the boundary way up the road. Catch all up first. What's it, Texas Hill or whatever it is? To catch all those people that's got to pay taxes.
Yep.
They ain't paid nothing for years.
Yep.
That means Princess Hotel too.
Yep.
All of them.
Yep. Extending the arms out. Just don't lower your expenses. Get more taxpayers.
I said, well, no, it gives them more borrowing power.
Yeah.
They can borrow more money.
Yep.
So just
mate.
put that in the bucket.
Yep.
And see what comes out of it.
Appreciate your call. Have a great Sunday and a good rest of the week. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you so much.
We'll hear you next week.
Yes, sir. Okay.
All right.
Okay, folks. We have time for one more call if it comes through. And thank you for your participation this morning. There's just a lot going on out there that we're, for whatever reason, having information hidden from us purposefully, I think, because of the embarrassing inability to explain what it is they are doing and why it is they are doing it, which is probably more important. And our last caller of the day, good morning. You're on the second look.
Second look.
Yes, sir.
Just my analysis or my synopsis of what I've been listening to.
Okay.
We in Bermuda have become a rhetorical people. Meaning that, according to Einstein, the CARICOM is not the problem. It's the understanding of CARICOM that's the problem. In principle, it's a good. In principle, it has a good working program. But it's the understanding that we in Bermuda, because we're a rhetorical people, everything's a problem in Bermuda because we don't understand. We don't understand the problems,
right?
So we can't solve the problems. Once we understand the problems, then we can solve them.
Okay, good point. Good point.
We can't solve them by being a rhetorical.
Right. It has to be done with valid data, information.
That's exactly. All this rhetoric, it don't work. This is what's destroying Bermuda. It's not the PLP, it's the rhetoric.
Well, in absence of information, that's what you're subject to. I mean, as I said earlier in the show, I mean, I'll invite you invited on. If you don't come on, then we can only conjecture what it is you meant by the policy, or conjecture and so unless you hear it from the authoritative source, whether you like the information or not, that's still up to you. But at least get it from the authoritative source.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to defend them, but I don't have a problem engaging a politician in discussion, either side, because they have a sense. I don't know what it's because they live in an environment where people are just judgmental. Someone has to run Bermuda. So why do we always say a politician is corrupt without any information?
Right.
You hear all this rhetoric. Oh, the politicians, they're corrupt. That's disrespectful. The person hasn't been charged with anything. So until Bermuda becomes grows up and becomes mature, and say if the president's politician, they're accused or alleged to have and have been convicted, okay, fine. But why present all this basic rhetoric about politicians? They're not corrupt. They have to be proven. They have been proven corrupted. You may not like the policies, but you got to stop this rhetoric.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate your call. Have a great week. Talk to you next week.
I'm going to try.
Okay, mate.
You know what time I say? All you can do is try.
That's right. Okay. Thanks so much for your call. Bye-bye.
Bermuda Live on YouTube. Subscribe now.